Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud and welcome to Microsoft Boat Simulator or Microsoft Sailing Simulator. Today we're taking a look at something rather peculiar. As you can see, we're in a speedboat. Now I saw this on Sim Market after a supporter of the channel got in contact with me telling me that he's working on a speedboat. And what have we got? Well, right in front of us, we've got exactly that. Now he did offer me a copy of this, which is very generous of him, but I declined and went out my way and brought it, just because I think it is important to support small developers. Whoa. And of course it results in a bit more impartiality on my behalf, because it means subconsciously I won't have any bias. Nonetheless, as it's a very interesting add-on, I am going to say initially it's payware, and it will therefore apply to a smaller niche or market of people. And certainly it's not for everyone, but I'm sure some people out there will find a use for it. And you know, it offers a whole new perspective to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't think I've ever had this much fun going down the River Thames on the sim. And I've flown along it so many times before, but it is just really weird coming along in a boat across the Thames. Now, I've tried it out in a few locations across the world. The Scilly Isles, also in the UK, they look really beautiful. And I would say, you know, it offers a completely different perspective. In a minute, we're going to slow down right next to Parliament, if I don't hit that bridge bollard, or whatever it's called. I can't think of the name right now. And we'll take a look at the model. What a perfect time to slow down. Tell you what, it does give everything a sense of scale, I won't lie. That's one thing it definitely does. Yep, there's the old London Assembly building, I believe. And they've got Shrek's Adventure in there now. And here we go, coming up alongside Parliament. Let's kind of park under the bridge, I guess. Or maybe just at the docking area over there. And here we are, parked right next to the Houses of Parliament. Let's take a look at the external model of this boat. So, I mean, it's pretty nice. A lot of attention has been paid to textures, making sure they don't look kind of imported in, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. You can see we've got a few little quips on the side, and especially if you look here, the texture does look rather pixelated, especially when you compare it to the white lines. There is also some lighting, and that's basically, I don't know what you call it, I guess it's some sort of anti-collision light, I guess. This is probably the closest thing I could think of it being, just to make sure that the boat's presence is known to other sailors. Coming into the cab, or whatever it's called, I've just looked it up and it is called a cockpit, so there we go. You can see, you know, it's decent, it's acceptable for a boat in Microsoft Flight Sim, which we don't see too often. We have got custom gauges, we've also got a little GPS and some details. Let's take a look at them in a bit more detail by coming into cockpit view. You can see we've got some dials here. We've got our oil temperature, our RPM and our kilometers per hour. We've also got a compass and a clock, and our battery and alternator, which of course do work, and they're working with my honeycomb yoke. Down here, I've no clue what you call them. They kind of look like circuit breakers to me, although I don't imagine that's what they are. And then over here, we've got some very interesting switches, none of which work. Now to me, they look very similar to car ones. I'm not too sure if that's what they look like in this type of boat, but nonetheless, it kind of adds a bit of variety to what would be an otherwise plain bit of kind of plastic, I imagine. Then we've got the ship's wheel here, which by the way does move. And we've got the throttle back here. Now to control the boat is very easy. You use your rudder pedals and that should work nicely. Around here we've then got some more switches, none of which sadly work. We've got a nice flask and some tea down there, what I'd imagine is tea. And behind us we've got a nice little seating area. You can also open this door and there is a deck down there, so let's go have a look at that. Okay, so taking a look down here, you can see, you know, there's some cushions in there. I guess there's a place to sleep, but let's close that door now. The modelling is pretty good, I'd say that's its best point. Well, physics of the boat for a boat, I imagine, are pretty good for the sim. No one's going to say it's going to be easy to recreate physics, especially when you've got water added to the equation for a boat in the simulator. But you know, for what we're working with, I'd say they're pretty good. It doesn't feel like it's on rails, and it does feel like he may have even coded in some sort of tide impact on the boat, or tide and waves I mean. Basically, when you slow down, you don't slow down basically on rails, you don't just stop. It takes a while to slow down, and you will find the boat sort of sways around in the water regardless. You'll also notice we've got a pretty cool wake effect there, and the boat is bobbing up and down on the water very noticeably. I mean, look at that. Yeah, don't come down the River Thames too far, otherwise you'll probably start to notice the bridges get smaller, closer together, almost impossible to navigate through. The sounds are also decent. I mean, I don't imagine they're going to be spot on, because you're kind of sorting out a flight simulator to be able to be used with boats, but you know, for what it is, it's okay. Another thing that would get a lot of people, catch a lot of people out, it's its price. It costs around £10 UK. You can get it on Sim Market for €11 and a few cents, I believe, and that will probably lock this product out of range for a lot of people. But if you like your boats and you'd like to explore Microsoft Flight Sim in a different way, then this is for you. Am I going to recommend it? Well, I guess this one falls down to personal preference. While yes, it's a lot of fun, it's only going to appeal to a select minority of people, and sadly I don't think I am one of them. It's a decent model, it's fun to play with. Would I pay money for it? Well, I have paid money for it, but to show you guys, I give it a solid rating, 5 out of 10. It's a great, inventive, creative idea, but it's not for everyone. After all, this is a flight simulator, not a boat simulator. But if you want it to be a boat simulator, then you've got a truly fantastic option here. Big shout out to the developer. The developer himself has done so much for the community, making liveries, making other add-ons, does a really good job, so shout out to him. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. The last thing I'm going to say is a big thank you to all my channel members. Thank you to HX, me, Maxim LaBelle, Simon Schmidt, Sierra, Ethan Bubeck, Jonathan Desmond, Captain Matt Russell, Fanny Leibenberg, Hello, and Erwin K. You guys really do help me out. But from me today, that is all. I'll see you around. Bye bye. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy. See you then, guys.